Welcome back. I'm prepared to be bedazzled because today I'm going to be shining light on why going an entire lifetime without buying anything from a restaurant is easy. So why would I deem it to be a cinch to abstain, desist, and refrain from ever buying anything from a restaurant for the totality of your lifetime? Without further ado, without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to demystify, then answer to that inquiry right here, right now. Fortunately, much of my elation and much of my gratification, there is no incentive to ever buy anything from a restaurant. Restaurants command steep, staggering, hefty, exorbitant, lofty premium prices for foods. You have the autonomy to cultivate your own crops in your backyard. It is needless to ever eat out at a restaurant. You can cultivate your own fruits and vegetables in your backyard, and you do not need to acquiesce to paying premium prices to purchase foods from restaurants when there are alternative options for being able to eat meals. If you lack your own abode, if you lack a backyard, then you can alternatively purchase foods via grocery stores and supermarkets. So why accede to paying steep, staggering, hefty, lofty, and exorbitant premium prices for homogeneous foods when you can alternatively purchase them for a fraction of the price at grocery stores or supermarkets? It just does not make a modicum of sense to acquiesce to buying anything from a restaurant. You should take heed of your alternative options. Moreover, if you concede to buying food from a restaurant, there's no guarantee that the restaurant personnel will be adherent to health code regulations when preparing your meal. If you prepare your own meals and you psychologically know that your foods were washed off prior to the advent of you devouring them. Moreover, there are a myriad of insalubrious menu items that are part of restaurant menus. We should only devour vegan supplements in tandem with salubrious foods that are subsumed under a wholesome, salubrious, longevity-promoting, nutrient-dense, alkaline, antioxidant-rich, anti-inflammatory, raw fruitarian diet. As per your beverage, you should only drink distilled water. You should only implement salubrious dietary decisions. You never want to consume insalubrious foods. You should never consume foods that can adversely impinge on any facet of your health. You should never consume foods that can ravage your DNA. You should never consume foods that can unravel your chromosomes. You should never consume foods that can truncate your telomeres. You should never consume foods that can render you at a higher probability to contract a deleterious chronic disease. So, implement prudent, shrewd, judicious, and salubrious dietary decisions. You want to be able to attain robust, stellar, and vigorous health. Do not want to succumb to poor health. If your friends congregate at restaurants, if they rally together at restaurants for whatever reason, you can still meet them at restaurants, even if you do not eat an iota of food at restaurants. You can defer eating food until you return to your abode. You can consume 21,000 calories of alkaline fruits and vegetables per week. However, you do not need to eat 8 times per day. You're not relegated to eating during dinner time. So, there's no incentive to eat out at restaurants. There are a bevy of deterrents to eat out at restaurants. It is also more expeditious for you to prepare your own meals than it is to wait for restaurants to deliver meals to you, or than it is to drive to a distant restaurant and wait for a chef to furnish you with a meal. So once again, to recapitulate, this challenge is not deemed to be an insurmountable challenge. It can be easily surmounted with relative ease. Your liberty to prepare your own meals are the homogeneous foods at restaurants any more succulent, scrumptious, or palatable than the homogeneous foods that you prepare yourself? I doubt that the meals at restaurants are even negligibly more appetizing than the meals that you prepare yourself at your own abode. The homogeneous foods at restaurants simply do not warrant acquiescing to paying steep, staggering, hefty, exorbitant, lofty premium prices to purchase. So, I hope that you deem this video to be riveting, captivating, mesmerizing, insightful, enthralling, intriguing, and amusing. Remember to always implement salubrious dietary decisions. Drink distilled water, consume vegan supplements, and also consume foods that are subsumed under longevity promoting, salubrious, wholesome, nutrient dense, alkaline, antioxidant rich, anti-inflammatory, raw fruitarian diet. Never implement insalubrious dietary decisions. Thanks for watching. Have a blissful day.